Andrew Freund here in Vienna, Austria, high above the rooftops, where Tom Cruise and his crew are getting ready to take on the Syndicate in Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation.
You have to get through 12 feet of concrete and 70,000 gallons of pressurized water without any metal.
No oxygen tanks.
Benji, stand by to receive.
Ethan, you ready?
Important point. If you haven't opened that hatch after 2.5 minutes, we're both dead.
No, no, no.
Ethan, do you copy?
Ethan, abort!
Abort now!
Whoa. Are you okay to drive? I mean, a minute ago you were dead.
What are you talking about?
This is not gonna end well.
Okay, so let's talk about, this isn't a small little indie. It's a rather large production.
Yes.
Is it daunting in a way when you're on these sets and you're doing these things and you're fighting and you're running and are you just like, how is this my life right now?
Yeah, often. I always think of Orson Welles' as sort of an analogy about it being like playing with a big train set. And the bigger the train set, obviously, the more sort of crazy things get sometimes. The actual process of filmmaking doesn't really change from doing a little indie to a big one in the middle of it all. In the eye of the storm, it's you and the director and the camera crew, your co-stars. But the surrounding gets bigger, And on a film like this, the surrounding is enormous in terms of the locations and the stunts, and it's always fun, It feels like license to play.
How does Rogue Nation set itself apart from the other films?
Well, I think all of these films, this series is quite unique, I think, in that it has such an eclectic series of directors. And I think, from Brian De Palma through John Woo, JJ, Brad, and now Chris, each film has its own identity because of the individual director that's taken it on board. Their character is stamped over each one. And it makes it feel very varied and very fresh every time. It doesn't feel like a retread. And I think Chris McQuarrie just brought to it a wonderful awareness of cinema, of kind of the genre itself, of the films that have gone before. And as a writer, he has that brilliant skill to make a story very involving and engrossing and twisty and turny and never quite where you think it is. This is the man that wrote The Usual Suspects. So, he is very skilled at staying ahead of his audience and keeping them happy. So I feel like it has its kind of its place in that sort of series of very, very individual movies.
Let's say you were going to run an organization like IMF.
Yes.
What would be Simon Pegg's manifesto?
4-day weekends, probably good childcare, bring your daughter to work day or son to work day every day, free candy. We wouldn't get a lot done, but it would be nice.
Dental? Would you include dental?
Absolute dental, all of the insurances. And possibly big beanbags instead of chairs.
Sounds like Google.
It would be like the Google of spy agencies. Which Google is a spy agency, right, guys?
They're watching. Would you have a mascot? What would your mascot be?
My mascot? It would probably be, you put me on the spot, a Tribble. A Star Trek Tribble, just so I could represent both my passions.
So let's talk about writing in the next Star Trek. That's no small feat.
No.
And having to live up to the fanboys.
And girls.
What?
And girls.
And girls, you're right. So how do you write that knowing that, there's going to be a million people online being, hey, da, 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 da.
You have to kind of shut that out in a way. Everybody has an opinion, and everybody has a platform for their opinion these days. But what you have to do is write what you believe is true to the story. I'm a fan of Star Trek. I'd like to think it's in safe hands in terms of where it's going. I think if you start worrying about who's gonna not like it, then you'll just get stuck. If you try and please everyone, you'll please no one. So you've got to try and lead the charge a little bit and give people what they don't know that they want yet. It's a tough call, but someone's got to do it.
So basically what you're also telling me is that you are confirming you're also in the next Star Wars.
I am in the next Star Wars, yes.
What can you tell me about that?
That was confirmed. There was a lovely behind-the-scenes package they put together for Comic-Con. I can tell you absolutely nothing about that, of course.
Was it, okay, when you were on the set for Star Wars, was that being a fanboy yourself even of Star Trek? Also, that's another huge, were you just like...
It was incredible. I mean, it felt literally like you know, the phrase "dream come true" is often overused and not used properly. This literally was that. You know, I'd grown up loving those characters and that universe, and to suddenly be involved in it was extraordinary. And I have J.J. Abrams to thank for so much of my career, for Mission Impossible, for Star Trek and Star Wars, and you know, I owe that man a lot. I love him to pieces, believe me.
Biggest misconception about Tom Cruise?
That he's weird, or that he's mad, or that he's somehow an alien or something. You know, I always find that strange. He's far less complex than I think people think he is. The very kernel of who he is just a really driven guy from Kentucky, who's very ambitious and very keen to do everything to the max. You know, he doesn't believe in doing things by half measures, so he commits himself to everything. If he decides to do something, he'll go for it, you know. But he is just a guy. He's just a human being. And he has, you know, qualities that are kind of, that people never see, which I wish they did see, because they'd probably understand him a little better, you know.
He's not an alien.
He's not an alien. He's very funny. He's very silly. He's a bit naughty. You know, he can cause trouble on set sometimes.
Does he swear? I feel like he doesn't swear.
He swears so much. Tom swears so much. I love it. It's a virtual carnival of swearing on set, because I love swearing. I'm swearing now in my mind because I'm not allowed to swear on camera. But, yeah.
Can you do a Tom Cruise impression?
No, I can't without swearing. My Tom Cruise impression is him swearing. So I can't do it. Yeah, that's a really funny question. No, I love it when Tom Cruise does an impression of Tom Cruise. I say, like, we'll be hanging out, and I'll say, do Tom Cruise. And he'll put his sunglasses on and just do this smile, and it's like, that's Tom Cruise.
Mr. Chairman, the time has come to dissolve the IMF. It's not just a rogue organization. It is a disgraced one.
Shutting down the IMF is a mistake you may regret. This is Brent.
Go secure.
Go.
The syndicate is real, and they know who we are.
A rogue nation, trained to do what we do.
An anti-IMF.
They're coming after us with everything they've got.
Oh, boy.
You want to bring down the syndicate? It's impossible.
Howdy.
How? That's a new one.
What, a howdy?
Howdy.
Well, yeah, you know.
Where are you from?
I'm from LA.
Howdy.
Howdy. You've heard of howdy. It's like Southern.
Yeah, but one doesn't say, it's like oopsie daisies.
No, I could say oopsie daisies. All right.
Actually, I've said oopsie daisies as well.
But you're Swedish, right?
I'm Swedish and English.
All right, well, there you go. I'm Andrew.
Howdy.
Should I be mildly frightened of you right now?
Hence the distance between us, sir.
I mean...
End of interview. No!
I mean, you friggin' throw down in this movie. I mean, I'm a little bit scared, like mildly scared.
You did. They've done a very good edit.
But let's talk about the physicality that you go through. What was that experience like for you?
Well, it's been a lot of training. I've been taught to get Pilates into my life. I've been taught to put chocolate aside, to run, to combat fighting. What was great was seeing Wade and Tom create this style for Ilsa so that I wouldn't sort of fall into maneuvering the way he would, because she is her own undercover agent. I miss it. I miss it.
So all I have to do is Pilates and I can fight like you in the film?
Yeah, Pilates and a lot of stunt work with the best sort of stunt coordinator, and then yeah.
Was it empowering? Like if you were ever in a precarious situation, could you like
maneuver it? Yeah, sure. If the guy knew I knew he would hit left, I'd duck right, and it was all planned. Yes, most definitely.
If you were gonna run an organization like the IMF in the film, what would your manifesto be?
Kill a thigh move when in doubt.
Why?
Just, I don't know, because I love the movement. I just say in any case, just get on top and whip him down. Howdy.
What would your mascot be? What if you were gonna have a mascot? What would the mascot be?
What my mascot would be if I had an organization. Oh wow, that's a hard one. Something probably highly intelligent and sophisticated and mysterious.
That's you.
I would be my own mascot. That's very modest. Yeah, that's not very me.
Biggest misconception about Tom Cruise that you think people have?
I don't know if people have a misconception. My conception is how incredibly down to earth this man is. He is happy and fun. His work ethics and morale is incredible. And that combination is endearing, and it is something that we should all learn from. I don't know what the misconception is. I think when people become very famous and superstars, I think our expectations of them become high. We build our own conception of them. But I don't think we can do that until we sit opposite someone and actually get to know them and get to work with them.
Simon told me he swears a lot.
Tom? He did yesterday. That was so much fun, an interview. Well, you know, I'm European. I don't judge.
I feel like all Europeans are very refined and regal. And
Really?
yeah.
Really? Why?
I don't know. You seem very graceful, just sitting in the chair.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. Wow.
Better?
Yeah, much better.
Okay.
That's American.
Is this American?
Yeah, that's very
I
American.
could do this.
Now I feel like I need to sit like that. Talk to me about some of the stunts in the film. What are audiences going to see?
Oh, they're going to see its new, incredible choreographed scenes. It's going to be explosive sequences. It's going to be basically Tom on a plane. They know that already. Bit sad they had to show that, but of course it's fun. It is, I mean, yes, stunt work per se, but I mean the storyline, the plot is intelligent. Its twists, its turns. The team is once again back to solve yet another mission.
Can you do a Tom Cruise impression?
I would never try.
I feel like you could do anything.
I would never try to copy Tom Cruise.
Final question. If you were to decide what type of film this is, what type of movie is it?
This is an intelligent action movie. I think that's basically what it is. Intelligent action movie with, God, just expect the unexpected, darling.
It's getting hot in this room.
Howdy. I'm just going to keep on saying howdy.
Hey, howdy.
Howdy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll see you.
Take your position.
I have eyes.
The show is about to start.
Got it.
You and your team will answer for every wanton act of mayhem you are responsible for.
Now we are all wanted by the CIA. Awesome.
Get your seatbelt on. You have to be that now.
This may be our last mission. Let's make it count.
Open the door!
Come on.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Benji, open that door right now.
Oh my God!